And unfortunately, we should be live. Alive,
no.
but at what cost?
Oh no. Oh no, oh no. Let me see. Oh,
At what cost?
oh no. Okay. Hi everyone. Let's wait a few seconds. Then we're gonna cry together. Okay. I think we can slowly start. Let me know if you can hear me, but I know you can because I can unfortunately hear myself, so it should be all good. We figured even the screen sharing, so we are almost prepared.
I'm no longer promoted to a customer.
Okay, so hi everyone, welcome to the next stream. It's I don't know what day it is today. It's Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday. Before we get into things, as always, streams are sponsored by Woo. If you want to support the stream, you can make a new account with Woo. The first link in the description. After you start trading, you will get a bunch of benefits that you see at the bottom of the screen right now, I believe. And with that being said, we can talk about some coins and Bitcoin and all of the kind of interesting things. So, if you can
Yeah, it's
switch to
loading.
my...
It's loading. It's always 10-second
Okay,
delay,
okay,
so
okay,
assume I
okay.
already clicked it.
Nice. Okay, so starting with BTC, obviously we had these two huge down days. It's kind of funny because like if you gonna take a look at Bitcoin, in terms of this kind of range in which we are since March, it's not that insane. If you compare this price action to many altcoins, which we might be looking later today, this is definitely the least kind of drastic sell-off. Bitcoin is pumping a little bit at the moment. We
Local
can kind of
top.
maybe, yeah, we can just highlight the 62.8 to see if this was a local top 1 hour later. But yeah, so my kind of plan is very simple. I'm obviously not really looking to short this from like the simplest perspective. If I would say that this is the range that we have been in since the last month or so. Obviously, we are kind of trading towards the range low, so I would much rather be long than short at this moment. We are still, if you're gonna kind of zoom out, we are still in the uptrend, although this is looking a little bit like this kind of a accumulation range, which you tend to see at the end of the moves, but this doesn't change the fact that we are basically at the higher time frame support. There are some levels, and I was really, to be fair, hoping that when we kind of started this first day of sell-off on Friday, I was really kind of feeling that we might go all the way down to 59k, which is basically this kind of low, and even overshooting that towards the 56, which is on the Binance perps at least, is the yearly VWAP. Let me actually quickly check on the index chart. This is a little more accurate. Yeah, that's around 57k. So basically, I was kind of hoping that we will sell off to the point that we gonna take out that this is like the March 5th low into the kind of a bounce from the VWAP. This did not really happen. Although we sold off on Saturday as well, market kind of started to consolidate. And yeah, to be fair, this would be kind of a trade for me, something that I don't really do any kind of overcomplicated stuff, especially on higher time frames. Really would love to see kind of one more step lower. 60k obviously kind of big psychological level. You have a halving in 3 days, I believe, so maybe like some little bit of a halving sell-off, one last kind of dump, basically taking out the Sunday low. Yeah, but basically the last week low on the weekly chart is pretty kind of clean on this index. It's basically a spot chart. I know that there is a wick on the perps because perps always kind of people get liquidated and all that, but on this kind of a index chart, you can see we have these three kind of weekly lows, pretty kind of stacked up together. Also goes into with the yearly VWAP. a little bit underneath that. So my plan, what I would love to see, what I would love to kind of get long would be something like this. This would be maybe even like a bigger swing play, kind of especially if we would kind of show some sort of strength here. This is a decent for maybe even a spot position where your invalidation is pretty kind of a nice, because I know that there is this kind of a theme on CT where people like chilling in spot, which it means nothing, to be fair, because like you can chill in spot and market can go 40% against you. People were chilling in spot altcoins 5 days ago, and they are now, effectively just like
doing
half
KOL
of the
deals now.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't really think that chilling in spot means much, but for like a bigger swing play where obviously you don't pay funding, you are kind of in a better position to just hold coins. That would be kind of a play right here. If I'm gonna kind of zoom in, we had this kind of sell-off on H4, we are bouncing back. I'm personally not gonna lie, I don't really feel like just buying this right here. Like if this would be a bottom, which, I saw some people kind of calling this a bottom, obviously on perps. Like we didn't take out this 60k low, we didn't test the VWAP, but I don't really want to be that kind of stubborn to just like, I'm gonna not trade this only if it's going to hit 60k. But for me, to be fair, to kind of get long again, I would much rather wait to get higher. You can see basically this kind of area right here at 66, 67k, which is basically yesterday we rejected here. I believe this is, I'm not really using EMAs, but this is also like for our 200 EMA, if I'm not wrong. Maybe yeah, which is basically what we did yesterday. You kind of have also the trend line here as well, the 200 EMA as well. If we would, kind of get above that level, at that point I'd be okay, like this was definitely the low. Hopefully there would be some sort of structure, to place a stop, kind of tighter stop, and I would be buying basically above 68k, targeting the all-time high and higher. So yeah, this is for BTC right now. Like I said, I'm not really too interested in shorting this. Yeah, only place where I would short this right now if we would like start pushing basically back above 68k, but this would clearly get weak. Lose that kind of for our 200 EMA again, look for shorts there, but this is always like it's not likely going to happen within the next week or so. So yeah, this is very quick overview of Bitcoin. ETH, we can talk about ETH as well. ETH actually hit the yearly VWAP, since ETH had just been much weaker than BTC, but also this kind of leaves it in the place where we basically took out these lows. Also ETH futures, which kind of tends to be pretty clear from time to time when it comes to looking at some stuff. Obviously is missing kind of one more week because that happened over the weekend, but you can see that we kind of fully filled the CME gap, kind of hitting this small consolidation, which led to this huge leg up into the VWAP here as well. So I think ETH is in a decent spot. I don't know how we are progressing on the whole ETH ETF narrative and all of that, but if ETH is going to this very simple level here for me that I would just mark out and you can kind of forget about it. It's basically this 3300. You can see I have it here as well. It kind of looked yesterday that we might even break that. Didn't happen. But if we would break basically above 3300, then I think the ETH narrative and ETH strength is in play. ETH BTC is not dying, which is almost a miracle.
I mean,
this point,
isn't it? Just zoom out, bro.
Yeah, like it is kind of dead, but also we had 2 days of up, which is like
It is kind of unprecedented. It's basically like Dubai being in flood right now.
Yeah.
Like once a year event.
I don't know. I'm like not a fan of. I don't think like I'm a fan at this point of like taking ETH BTC trade. Because this is just like. I don't know. I feel like like when we were kind of trading ETH BTC and when we were talking about ETH BTC, which was like during these kind of pushes to the upside, that was like much better spot than, you know, losing this kind of level of support right here. I don't know, like it can kind of come back to life. Obviously, if we would push back above like these highs, for example, you can say that okay, this low is made, and you know we might trend higher. But I just feel like I don't know, I would just rather just trade ETH at that point. Longing ETH, I mean, because this shit is just like volatile by itself a lot, and you know, like doing TA on ETH BTC also kind of meme. So yeah, I don't hate ETH. I just would love to see it reclaim 3300 basically.
I
For
hate
the
ETH.
upside. Yeah, but you know, on this moment there is hope. Obviously, if this is continue to be weak, then I think I will just be buying ETH at 2500. This kind of a area which basically started this whole run up. I think there is still decent possibility that it's going to retrace all the way back down here. But at that point, I think this would be a very decent trade, although I'm not sure if I would be buying this blindly because, you know, we can see that kind of we had this consolidation right from it, tested it here, so this is not like a fresh level, so maybe something like this on a ETH. But yeah, kind of two scenarios. I'm still, although this, you know, we had this kind of rejection yesterday, I didn't really feel like shorting this. I much rather see this breaking 3300, going for longs, rather than, you know, just being short after sell-off like this, which is, you know, something that's kind of like goes both ways when, you know, things pump so much and people are like, yeah, I don't want to be long now, it already pumped a lot, and then it continues to go higher, you know, the same kind of goes to the opposite direction as well, so it can definitely go lower, but I just feel like the better risk to reward ratio for ETH trade would be reclaim of 3300. For BTC, maybe, you know, above that 68k area if we not gonna take 60k first. So yeah, those are my kind of thoughts. I think, you know, overall, if I'm going to take a look at Velo very quickly, you know, the spot is trading under the per price. The funding is very, very low at the moment. So, like, from order flow perspective, I think this, you know, is just giving me signs of, you know, kind of bottoming out. Obviously, we had I think I read it on Twitter. This was like a biggest liquidation or like flush in the alts, and some of the altcoins I was looking at. I was actually looking at some of these altcoins. It's so funny. Like, look at ARP, open interest on this. It's just like got like completely vapored, you know, like 53% of OI flush. So I think a lot of these coins are looking pretty bottomed out, and BTC overall from like order flow perspective is also looking bottomed out. I just yet at the moment don't really have that kind of a strong, you know, price action or like the setup where I would, you know, feel comfortable to place an invalidation, because you know this can, you know, still go down to 60k. I just don't want to have the stop wide like that basically. So I'm more waiting. I tried some altcoin longs over the weekend. Some things worked, some things didn't really work, but yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on BTC and ETH. Maybe Runner has something to add.
Actually, it's interesting. It's very rare that I don't want to say disagree, but I actually have like exact opposite type of setups. Some context, I guess, which we can agree on, or facts, is halving is like in whatever 3 days. It does change from time to time, like the prediction of the countdown, but it's still supposed to be like we'll be sleeping, but like basically Saturday, 19th, Friday or 20th. So that's one thing. ETF flows, I think it's kind of becoming not a meme, but like people just don't give a fuck anymore. The only, I think, surprise that could happen there on inflows, outflows, ETF side is if we had like outflows on BlackRock, which is IBIT. I think that could be like a potential fear, but other than that, I kind of feel like it's becoming, I don't want to say like irrelevant, but I just don't see even people care about it that much. You know, Grayscale.
So you are targeting 12k basically.
Yes. So
okay.
out of that. And for me, on like Bitcoin side of things, I think you can make a case, and you said it yourself, that we're, you called it accumulation zone. I would call it distribution zone.
Yeah, sorry, that's the correct term. The
Okay.
accumulation is at the bottom and distribution is at the top, yeah.
And I don't know, maybe I'm not calling for tops, but if you look at like basically April, May of 2021, we had the same thing, basically sideways for months. And I don't know. I would love the market to continue lower, on like quote unquote higher time frames. But obviously, me and you trade mostly intraday, intra-week maximum. So I do hope
Yeah.
before halving we'll still see some upside first. And my like reasoning for that is that I believe obviously a lot of the sell-off in both TradFi and BTC and crypto, whatever, was because of the escalation with the whole Israel situation, which is beyond boring at this point. But rockets flying here and there, and if there is some clarity on the situation, I think we can easily squeeze a lot on BTC, like easily to 67K. And my point is, even if we go like 68, it's still structurally bearish. So I think you're right on the whole, if like I don't know where I would long this, but definitely not a short. That's step one. Not shorting it here, but even if you squeeze it with halving as like some sort of rotation / narrative, I would be personally looking to short with very clear invalidation, because I do consider halving being fully priced in. So I even posted the setup. I played out perfectly. But it's just 2 weeks or like 10 days early because of the whole war situation. It just played out very quickly. I do believe on it. One thing I have to say and bullish about Ethereum is, even though everything dumped, Ethereum dumped the least. Which, when you think about it, is like that's the most bullish thing about Ethereum. But it is true. So that is something to be said, because even something that basically everybody and their mother was long and bullish, Solana, is significantly more down than Ethereum. Basically,
That's true.
And if BTC, and on the last thing, like I still kind of believe that, I know you hate it, fair enough, I hate myself too. I do believe you'll see Bitcoin to altcoins rotation after halving. And I do believe we've already seen a Bitcoin dominant stop for this cycle, which again, I might be completely retarded for even looking at it that way, but maybe it will reflect on ETH BTC. And that's
like definitely it's kind of the way how much most of these altcoins sold off over the weekend was pretty crazy. Like Bitcoin went down 10%, 15%, something like this. Most of these altcoins are like underneath the yearly open, so they are like lower than they were at the start of the year. So yeah, it's definitely, if a lot of these later ones, especially, there is like nothing too insanely looking good, I believe. Like the only thing that, I was buying fucking Celestia over the weekend because solely based on like how much this just died. And, but yeah, there is like not much that kind
like even Ondo is red. Like shit is wrong with even the strongest coin in history of strong coins is.
Yeah.
But
it's true.
Sorry.
No. Yeah, it really kind of shows that like the way that a lot of these altcoins just dumped is like how inflated they were in the first place, and how much just leverage got kind of wiped out from the system. My issue is with a lot of these coins, like I was looking at the wave today, and I kind of decided not to go against it. And a lot of these altcoins are looking very similar. If you're gonna take a look on a daily, you can kind of play this argument that we basically had this kind of a bigger distribution zones, and the bounce which we had was just a retest. There are some other examples. I know we talked about AVAX, but this didn't even bounce. I know someone was asking last week if this is a good area to buy.
Holy fuck.
And my argument was kind of like, it's a decent area to go long, but you spend this much time in sideways, which obviously is very different than when we kind of previously were, basically breaking out of this where, market just kind of like broke a trend line or whatever and made a new high. This is very kind of a distributive price action, and you can see that we didn't even tested it and this just died completely. So yeah, for a lot of these coins, it's pretty tough. I feel like kind of
Quite literally,
looking at
everything looks like absolute dog
yeah.
shit. I mean,
For example, this is once again pretty good example of this. I was actually I had I think like month ago, maybe months ago, when we were kind of talking about how I'm leaving the limits on some of these coins, and then people laugh at me that they will never get filled. I'm pretty sure I showed render where I had the limit order basically right here. At the time where I was placing it, it was when was market just rallying up. But since we once again, had this like a huge accumulation zone, I got filled here. But you can see where we hit this kind of a first place of resistance, and you kind of need to at that point just adjust to so the trade was there. I closed it a little bit higher, but that's kind of really my issue with a lot of these coins right now is that you don't have this kind of a clear way ahead. You are effectively need to get through the structure above you, and all these things look basically the same. Optimism as well, we had a huge dump, people were buying it here, shilling it again, but you just hit this kind of a first spot of resistance and off you go lower. So
but isn't it something like, I think a big thing in these markets is kind of a recency bias, like last 8 months. Literally, red day, you can ape long and in few days be in profit. This is me describing the past. This is not like financial advice, but like you would get away with it, right? That's what I'm trying to say. And I feel like after such big open interest flushes and leverage wipeout, liquidation, cascades, backwardation, whatever term you might want to use it for, it is like what I've noticed is characteristic, which you even are teaching in your blog or whatnot, is like massive imbalance for almost anything, and now it's gonna take time. And it usually, if I was to draw it, let me switch to mine. Like usually these play out like massive move and then a bit of consolidation first, and people get chopped up in the sideways.
And there is a good point in the comments about this is also like tokenomics with like ARP and Optimism, and Aptos I believe as well. It was just like unlocks after unlocks after unlocks this whole time. So this is in my opinion one of the reasons why like some of these meme coins, for example, just rallied so much, and basically the meme coins are the kind of outperformers of this, you can call it cycle or whatever you want to call it, is because you don't have this kind of a VC dumping on you, maybe in the easy mode you can kind of survive that because everything is going up, so people just like don't care that much. But yeah, at once shit start to hit the fan, and you can see that like you see like ARP. This is the open interest. I know this is not the most accurate one. This is from the trading view indicator, but like this just got like vapored, like the 50% of OI just completely died, and I'm not sure if ARB is like going to recover. This is the ARB is like effectively, sorry, the other way around, obviously. 55% down from the all-time high, which was in January 10th. So basically, you have a yearly open right here somewhere. So it's down on a year basically, and with like stuff like this, it's going to be very, very tough way to make new highs from here.
But at the same time, I don't feel like I get the whole, and obviously it goes without saying, right? Toxic tokenomics unlocks. But also, I just don't want to be the stream that's kind of promoting the idea of VCs are your enemy, because your enemy is most likely your leverage and your own shitty trade management, like in general. And I mean, by definition, I think what me and you do very well on this stream is just kind of keep repeating. You want to trade shit that has some sort of narrative, and respectfully, like, why the fuck are you even an ARB? Like, it's on you if you're longing it. I feel like.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so what is actually interesting here? Yeah, I know that you've been trading Doge.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
trading Wave, which I closed basically where I opened it, which was also the bottom, and it's up already. Um, Doge obviously has the 420 in. Jesus, I'm never gonna get used to this shit. There's a 420 coming in 6 days.
Yeah, but it's, I don't know. Each day I'm getting more and more pessimistic. It's just, for me, it's also just the thing that people have a mind share of, and it has been relatively speaking strong, like compared to other shitters. So, but obviously,
Yeah.
probably trading with is less retarded. But
Someone is asking about DIM, which I actually longed. It's basically at the same price where I longed it, so not much to talk about there. I still have no idea what it actually does. It's some sort of layer 2 on Cosmos or something like that.
as if it ever mattered.
Yeah, my kind of a idea here was this is just like down so much. New coin, also the open interest on this got like vapored completely. But yeah, I think it's not looking the worst, but also not the best. Like I said, it's basically the price where I opened the trade. I don't know if I'm going to kind of hold this. I closed some of it. Um, yeah, nothing that interesting. I think here.
I think
on
maybe
Dim.
more today, it is a thing of like approaching, how to say it. Like, I think there was a lot of good setups. Obviously, we were not streaming because it happened over the weekend, but like a lot of like I don't want to like rub it in people's faces. I'm pretty sure people lost a bunch of money over last week, but for me, that was one of the best trading weeks because simply from like this trading style we have, you know, a lot of the order flow confluence and, you know, liquidation cascades and intraday reversals. I think there's a lot to be said, and I don't want to like steal Cred's video, but basically, you know, you have these massive backwardation, basically intraday weeks. So can you put something like Doge, please, in like 5 minute chart? I know it's.
Oh, sure. Let me do it on Velo. It's going to be cleaner for the purpose of this.
And you know, it's just like these bounces even intraday are just ridiculous, and you see it at the bottom, right? At the like,
Yeah.
you just buy and sell few hours later, and I don't want to call it money printer, but kinda is.
Yeah. Like definitely after the huge events like these, the intraday is kind of the place to do things. You know, on higher time frames, stuff just is like super volatile. You know, you're gonna get this like a little bit of accumulation. You know, like after the huge dumps, markets tend to go sideways. You know, it's not just like up and down like insane. So yeah, if you really want to be kind of actively trading, then the higher time frames are most likely much better and probably going to be for a little bit now.
Yeah. Sideways.
Someone is asking about how you trade the liquidation reversals. I know that you can maybe cover it here quickly. We don't have
I'll
that much to talk about.
I'll quickly show. I mean, this person asks me every single stream. I recognize his name. But I mean, it's literally a confluence of few things. Massive open, and you know, like what I hate calling teaching because it sounds so gay, but like massive liquidation cascade. You see big open interest flush. How do you call these backwardation when you have?
Yeah, like spot going under the
Yeah.
per price basically. Yeah, it's the
And it kind of
backwardation.
doesn't matter where it is. Like people's, like sometimes I'm lucky enough to catch like a very bottomy entry, but it doesn't matter because the bounces always outweighs it anyway. So even if your entry is here, it's like 5-6%. That's literally it. So how? I mean, I sit in the computer literally all day, which is sad. And it obviously have to be awake at that time, which happened at like midnight for us, so it's fine. And I mean, but it's I made a video about it, but it's literally one thing. You need to have these extreme open interest wipeouts. That's literally it. It's one.
You kind of just then watch 1 minute time frame,
Yes.
wait for market to stop dumping, you know, and you can just start buying when it starts to go up on 1 minute chart, there is a a likelihood that it's gonna bounce a little bit.
Somebody asking isolated margin. I use unified margin, which means takes entire balance on all. How are they even like called? It's like
It's
FTX if you trade it on FTX.
Yeah, I do this. I don't use the isolated margin. I use, stops for the trades, even though if they
How
are
dare
like
you?
wide. Yeah. So I'm not really afraid that I'll get, like liquidated on the whole account because there is always a place where I just automatically get out.
And there is
So
something beautiful called like risk management. Like
yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Celestia is actually pushing. Some things recovering, which is something I personally don't enjoy seeing. Like, so we basically everything goes full Black Friday mode, 50% discounts, and instead of Bitcoin getting some big or majors, you have total shit rallying first.
Yeah. I think the Celestia is actually a nice example and the reason why I, got long. Look how much, once again, very useful in my opinion to use like stuff like open interest here. Because after, like a lot of these things, and maybe let me just go back to the hourly time frame. Like if you're gonna take a look basically after the bottom, like open interest got completely wiped out, everyone is just crying, everything is dead. Obviously you will have this kind of a systematic bounce on a lot of these things, but like look at Celestia actually coming in on the bid, and this is actually pretty kind of a good strong example of stuff because obviously there is a increase of the open interest, price is going up, so people are longing perps, but at the same time this kind of black line is spot CVD, and you can see it's going up as well with funding basically staying negative. So it means that not only perps are buying, but also spot is buying, because if spot wouldn't be buying, then obviously the funding would go up and be in positive because perps would be trading way above the spot price. So I was basically longing somewhere here. I didn't hold the trade for long, and it kind of started to retrace. But this is very nice kind of signal of actual demand coming into the coin after the flush, rather than, because obviously when Bitcoin is going to bounce, a lot of these strategies, everything is kind of correlated anyway. But this was, in my opinion, pretty decent example of actual demand coming into the market. And obviously Celestia is absolute shitcoin. It was just like down only for however long time. It dropped probably 50% from the highs, but for this kind of, once again, this is like not even a day trade. This I held this basically overnight. Set some limits in here when I went to the bed, woke up in the morning. We were kind of trading back into this kind of resistance here, started showing weakness, so I just closed the trade. So it's nothing insane, but like not a huge trade. But when it comes to like looking at things which are actually getting bought up after the flush like this, this is, in my opinion, as kind of good example as you can get from the order flow perspective.
I feel like these conditions favor a lot more like shorter time frame traders,
Yeah.
at least until halving.
Yeah, it's honestly just like because like the vol just gets so crushed on the higher time frames. So definitely, you don't really want to, like, you can hold things for long time if you think this is the bottom. You just need to sit in it. The same way, to be fair, like if you shorted Bitcoin, which I didn't, I think you did, right?
Yeah.
Like around the start of April, you would make a very decent amount of money, but at the same time, whenever you shorted, you would really have to sit in the trade for a bit. And then you obviously get this kind of huge move. So it can be very similar. If, this would be a bottom, once again, it can take days, maybe weeks, and then you will get this kind of bounce. I'm not saying the new highs, but, you'll get a bounce from that for that kind of a swing position you've been looking for. So yeah. So for example, for me, or at least like how I used to trade, or how I trade still, is that I don't have any like huge expectations that I'm gonna long something and I will wake up 20% higher tomorrow, basically.
Unless you're trading Ondo.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting chart because like it went, it was basically like almost resistant to dump. It like went down a little bit, but nothing insane to be fair. Show a lot of strength after that, but you can see, kinda. I feel like it became, obviously everyone was talking about it on Twitter when it was
Even
strong.
BitBoy.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. BitBoy said it's going to $10 billion FDV. Or
Yeah,
market cap,
so
sorry, not FDV.
and you can see basically coming to the highs, a lot of perps buying. This is the kind of a opposite situation because you can see how funding rate also spiked up a lot. So this is almost solely a perp driven kind of move to the upside, and off we
It
go
doesn't
lower
have
basically.
it doesn't have Binance Spot. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh,
you.
that's true. That's true. But this must take spot from some
OKX.
Coinbase. I don't know why this is showing the Binance USDT. Yeah, OKX.
No, I know for a fact as somebody.
Yeah, it doesn't have a spot. Yeah, it's whatever, but it's still kind of the point here remains the same, that people just like very heavy
Long to
on
the top.
buying here, and yeah, I'm not sure if I would buy this, to be fair now. So the famous last words of going to the new all-time high. I don't know. This is like a super messy chart to me. I don't really see any kind of clean levels, clean untested levels where I would just feel like to get long, and the daily had this kind of rejection as well. So
I feel like we kind of agree though that we're in a bit how to say it, like in the middle of nowhere in terms of setups, meaning there was great setups on the infamous GCR tweet. Were you awake? Were you at the computer? I think I was trying to call you or something.
really, no, I wasn't. I also realized that I do not follow him, so I just like saw it like a couple hours later. It got like 25,000 likes or something.
Man,
People flipped, completely bullish. All of a sudden, yeah, that was kind of funny. So the key takeaway from this is that they are basically fading GCR with your bearish thesis.
well, no, I longed, longed like I made like 25% on Doge in like 3 hours while watching UFC. Got the fuck out, and now I see everybody calling him. I don't want to drop the names, but basically not very good, not very good leader from. It's funny though. People somebody needs to hold their hand all the time, and it's fucking embarrassing.
Yeah. I don't know, like from the coins that I have here, there's like not even like stuff which like I really don't find it tradable at this kind of point. I think for the most people, the best thing to do is just focus on Bitcoin. We once again marked out the local top with the start of the stream.
I know Jerome was speaking. Maybe he said something.
Like to be fair, when it comes to altcoins, right now, and especially, I think this is a kind of decent idea, but judging by how much altcoins actually dropped compared to Bitcoin, I don't really want to be buying that many altcoins if I don't think the BTC bottomed out, to put it like this, or if I will see like very clean ETH outperformance, which seems like unreal thing to even think about. So
delete that word from your vocabulary. ETH and strength, please.
yeah, so either we will be at the place where it's kind of Bitcoin showing a lot of strength and kind of bottoming structure, or BTC is outperforming. So one or the other is the time where I want to be buying altcoins. At that kind of point which we had, in the last few months, where you have like 5 positions open and you can actually go to sleep because, the likelihood of happening, the thing that happened over the weekend is much smaller.
I think one thing we could like have a bit of back and forth about is the whole biggest open interest leverage flush out? Like, what do you attribute it to? Do you have any opinion on that? Because, like,
I think there is this kind of a like obviously people, I feel like a lot of people are just over leveraged. There was Kyle and Zoo posting the P&Ls, and people really believed that this is another kind of just mindless,
super cycle.
mindless bull run when where you get kind of away with everything. So obviously the flush of the leverage was kind of the thing. But I don't know, like I really like, and we can actually take a look at the Bitcoin for this, where we had very similar situation back in here in August 2023. I know
Wasn't
this is
that
a
Luna situation?
no,
No,
this
there's
is the
3AC.
year. Yeah. No, that's a year after the Luna was 2022 and 3AC was 2022. This is basically the bottom
Ah,
of the bottom of the bottoms.
that was
Like
the
25.
gray. That was the grayscale ruling. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Basically, when we bottomed out on Bitcoin in August last year, right, which is here, we had the biggest OI flush day in whatever history, I think, like the biggest ever. And you can see market did basically nothing for 2 months before started the rally.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
yeah, like you have OI flush like this, and then we went sideways for a long time. Like 61 days before we effectively rallied to new all-time high. And I don't know, like this is different compared to when you have actually like buying coming in and when the open interest is rising. Like for example, the stuff I talked about with Tia, or like you can see here when BTC started rallying. And the OI kind of went crazy for a bit. Like this is where you get these kind of explosive moves to the upside. Or for example, one other example, and this is kind of sad that I remember all these things, is Solana when it bottomed in. Jesus, I don't need fucking life. When Solana actually bottomed in the October and November, especially, sorry, like the start of 2023, you can see, Sol went from $14 to like 8 or whatever, and look at the OI here. This was like end of 2022 when everyone was like calling Solana to basically going, to zero, to go to the negatives. And you can see this kind of a very aggressive reversal to the upside. Basically, this kind of immediately pumped 200% or whatever. So this is, in my opinion, pretty clear kind of a difference when you have like open interest just flush and everyone is just hurt, and people are in pain, and there is just not so much of a risk appetite, comparing to when OI is just going very directional and you will get these kind of huge explosive moves. So if anything, I would really kind of expect this to just slow down drastically. Like if you're gonna take a look at Aptos, for example, or if you're gonna take a look at ARP or all these kind of coins like Sui, the OI is basically at the lowest points. I don't think there will be a situation when Sui is gonna, like push 50% within next few days or stuff like this. It's much, in my opinion, much higher likelihood if there are new highs for Sui. It will go sideways. It will build some sort of base and then kind of a breakout. And if you use stuff like moving averages, I don't have a moving averages here, but you will often see these things as like right now. I'm pretty sure some of that kind of trend moving averages look something like this. And as the market gonna go sideways, they will kind of come closer to the price, to the point where price is eventually going to break outside of them and break of this accumulation and make the next leg higher. This is like Pierre is trading this way, basically just this kind of momentum breakout, which I think, like I said, it's more likely to happen after everyone is just getting flushed out from the positions.
But it's also like even on Bitcoin, like we can always speculate that altcoins flashed, but Bitcoin open interest wipeout was also some of the biggest like ever in like 2 days, and I just basically interpret it as over-leveraged idiots are out.
Yeah.
It's really that. While when you think about it, Bitcoin on daily chart is still in a range, so it's quite ridiculous.
I don't think this is telling that much, to be fair.
It was like
Yeah,
16%, I think.
yeah. It's definitely at very. This is in coins.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
this
it's
is
more accurate, anyways. No.
yeah. It's in a decently low point of 152,000 at the moment. You know, which is basically where we were at 45K area. So yeah. But like I said, you know, I really believe that after, you know, when you have the huge Y flushes like these, markets tends to just go sideways because like, you know, you need basically new buyers or like new participants to step in. And I think that, you know, the risk appetite, you know, might not be there for a while and people,
Yeah.
especially right now, like, you know, like there is obviously like one camp of people saying halving is the new narrative for upside. People also say halving is, you know, priced in and will go down. There is a war, and all of these things. Like when markets are kind of uncertain like this, like when we rallied after the ETF, like the narrative was like super clean. You know, like there's like billions of dollars or millions, hundreds of millions of dollars coming in these ETF inflows. Like that's like as
Yeah.
simple as you can get it, basically. Like there is like no doubt about that of being bearish, basically. And you know, like when ETF launched, like we had the dump in January, because that's once again like very kind of uncertain type of situation where okay, this is sell the news, this is not the sell the news. But when, you know, when obviously people just money are flowing into the ETF, that's completely different thing of just okay, like big boys are buying, I better be buying as well at this point.
So the end summary is being patient, waiting, sitting it out is probably the best. How to say? I don't want to say risk reward, but I think it's the most conservative way to go about it.
Yeah, I personally think that, you know, there are going to be a lot of great opportunities when it comes to day trading because volatility has been very decent.
I mean, BTC is doing plus minus 10% like a
Yeah,
day.
yeah. So like volatility at the moment on the lower time frames, you know, like on the, for example, today, basically is down 26%. So, you know, for any kind of day trading, this is as good as you will get it. But if you are looking into the like a bigger positions, and I feel like also like for our for a kind of like a streaming purposes, you know, it's pretty pointless to just like talk about 5 minutes rotations because these
Yeah.
things just like
Play
change
out.
so quickly. Yeah, it's like, you know, there's like I really feel like there's like no point sharing lower time frame stuff and lower time frame charts because like, you know, it just can be completely
Hey Adam, but
uh
last week you said the 5 minute setup looked
yeah,
good.
yeah,
Update?
basically like that.
Update?
So so yeah, for higher time frames, I would definitely just be patient. If we can take a look at the Bitcoin spot book, I haven't looked at this in a while. I have it here on the Tradingriot. Well, to be fair, it's nothing really interesting here. It's not really skewed. On Coinbase, it is a little bit. You can see that Coinbase has been basically kind of supporting the price. You can see that at the highs, Coinbase wasn't really skewed to the upside. We sold off from that. Now, you know, there is decent bid on Coinbase. Binance has been pretty muted, to be fair. The last kind of signal from Binance came in January, where this was very obvious. After that, you know, it's kind of when we started consolidating, you know, Binance was skewed mostly to the downside, with like one exception. But you know, I don't think that's super actionable. On Coinbase, it was, to be fair, like to be like this is pretty clean. You know, you started to get these signals, and basically these were both of the times these were the highs. They came a little early here, but you know, here and here is pretty spot on. Now Coinbase is skewed on a little bit, with some of it sitting at that 60K area, and other exchanges, Kraken, and I have Bitfinex here. Nothing really here. Bitfinex has been, yeah, also mostly bearish.
I
So yeah,
feel like
definitely.
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, just kind of to close on this. I don't really see anything too crazy here on like signaling a bottom at the time. Only Coinbase is showing, giving a little bit of a bottomish vibes, but like I said, the biggest size is sitting at 60K. Seems like.
And psychological number, right?
Yeah, as well. And like the Sunday low, kind of like taking out the last week low would make sense to me. Obviously, like stuff like that. So yeah.
I feel like it's actually pretty simple right now, or not simple, but like wait. I think the Israel, we're not gonna turn this into macro geopolitical stream. Wait for some clarity. Like if you follow Delta One, the guy Walter Bloomberg on Twitter. Yeah, basically a DB, but for TradFi. He's like posting how Israel cabinet is like basically discussing, are we gonna fight back, yes or no? And the moment, if there's some like clarity that it's no, then, I do genuinely believe we're gonna squeeze so fucking hard. But are you trying to front run what fucking some maniac is gonna do? Like,
yeah, that's pretty tough with these kind of geopolitical things that like you don't really know. I love how they like when Iran sent the drones, it was like they are estimated to arrive in 7 hours, like it's fucking Uber or something. It was kind of funny, but
it's
yeah,
like
it's
transaction
really,
on Solana.
yeah, and it's like BTC for this is in a very kind of weird spot because obviously ES dumped a lot. Gold kind of went really quite up. Gold has been in a huge run, so people kind of trying to decide what the narrative works best for BTC at the time. At this moment, it's just a stock correlation, so it's not a safe haven, anti-inflation, anti-war asset. It's a Nasdaq beta basically. So, so yeah, if I was kind of skeptical about the correlation in the last few months. We obviously had the sell-off in the ES and NQ basically at the same time as
Can you make
the Bitcoin.
daily, please, on NQ?
Yeah, sure. So
it's funny. Sorry to interrupt you, but these last 2 days, the red candles, I seen a tweet that this was the biggest sell-off, like 2 day sell-off in a year, and it was 2.6%. Like, what, man? Even from
Nasdaq is still like very strong. It's up 8% on the year. Obviously the returns are also much smaller, but yeah, like we clearly saw that the correlation between ES and the de-risk on assets like Nasdaq and ES is there at the moment. So I would most likely, if we would, for example, get the news that the war is cancelled, then the likelihood of BTC pumping on
long.
that is it's much higher.
But like, I like when somebody will interpret this as, but you said long. No, I said wait for a tweet, then long. You cannot just confuse this. It's not like cooking that you either prepare eggs first or vegetables first. No, like, no, I'm, even like, obviously, some sort of optimist in me hopes that, the situation will be fine, in the Middle East. During this run-up, we had several wars. It's not like this is first conflict. Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Gaza thingy, China, Taiwan, recession, high interest rates. Like, this time is definitely, in my head, not different. But maybe, again, it's just optimism.
What's the Ukraine Russia basically started in the start of 2022, which is like February, I believe it was. BTC went kind of sideways on it, which if you compare to gold, it went completely insane at the time. I remember I was trading that. It's this move to the upside. It's March actually, start of March, and Bitcoin effectively went a little higher, but it followed by just dying a lot. So
But also what's interesting, I'll switch screen, Jesus, I'm the first person to shit on TradFi, but remember, one thing I would like to I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen, I just expect vol, that's all I care about as a trader, is there's FOMC coming up, and whoa. But remember when because of interest rates we couldn't rally, and basically from my understanding they discuss like rate cuts these days, and it should be like the time flies, right? Because forever bull run, but like it's in like 6 weeks. So I'm curious, if there's gonna be like another pivotal point in market structure.
If you wanna go, if you wanna go the TradFi route, and I was always shitting on this because dollar index has nothing to do with actual crypto correlation. The dollar index is, this is just the forex stuff. But like dollar has been like cooking lately. Like all the currencies against the dollar just died basically over the last month. So like dollar is up. The dollar index is up since basically start of the year, like 5%, which is a lot, on
Did you
dollar.
check Czech crown USD?
No, but like euro is down, 5% on the year as well. So dollar is very, very strong at the moment. Like I said, it's only concerning these fucking currencies. It doesn't have, like, the way the index is calculated. There's no Bitcoin inside it. It's just major currencies, so you don't really go one-on-one correlation. But
FUD.
at the same time, gold is at all-time high, going insanely up. Indices started dying. Maybe Bitcoin is really kind of showing the sign here that it's more of this kind of a risk on asset maybe rather than hedge against everything.
What I was quite surprised how little, because I think what we've done well, being the order flow LARPs, is looking at some of the CME data, and if you open Velo and you look at TradFi,
Yeah.
or should I open it before? I'll open it. I'll open it.
Before I just
Docs
everything.
again, something again, yeah.
No, it's okay.
I opened it. So if you look at TradFi in like let's do 6 months and open it full screen. Like on this dump over the weekend, it barely affected CME open interest. Like it's few percent relative to, which I found personally quite interesting. So basically I would summarize it as, because this is like a lot of jumping back and forth, I feel like the people who got flushed on this move is just over leveraged crypto native retards who should not be trading on leverage. And I just worry that that's part of my bear thesis, is that these TradFi bros who are still up a lot, because Bitcoin at 63,000, it's not like it's at 45. And all these guys who went long on TradFi, they longed, what was it like? Dude, they're long from like 30K, right? Most of the CME.
It's like October last year basically. So it's pretty early. It's like the OI started rising around 40, even lower.
30 to 40K.
30. Yeah. So they are definitely up a lot.
So what I'm basically thinking is what could be bad. So my best, like, I would fucking scream dying laughing if, let's say, wet dream scenario, okay? Netanyahu or whatever his fucking name is tweets, or their cabinet, like, no war, chill, markets rally, dollar dumps, gold dumps. Obviously CT will start KOL cringe with shit like, do buy the dip anon, wink wink. We're gonna rally hard, squeeze bunch of shorts, which are already covering retards. People get fucking bullish, and then CME bros turbo take profit on their longs, fucking nuking this to 40 to 52. Then that would be like, just imagine people long again aggressively, like, ooh, we are so back, new all-time highs coming up, halving, let's fucking go, just to do it all over again on altcoins.
Yeah. Okay, so we covered some things. If you guys have any coins that you would like to for us to take a look at, maybe some narratives that we are missing, maybe give me some ideas of what I should be trading, because like I said, I don't really find many coins that interesting at the moment. Pepe.
I mean, because the things played out already, right? Like there was a lot of setups, but unfortunately they played out 2 days ago.
Yeah, I think Pepe.
This looks pretty strong.
Today, yeah, it's up. It's up. Yeah, it's up 5% today, which to be fair, listen, I have this thing which I share on Twitter. It's like super simple. Instead of just me trying to buy the bottom, you look at market structure. you look at it on the fucking higher time frame, like 4-hour time frame. This is the high, made this low. If you trade above it, it's a nice long. You have an invalidation under here. You know, this is how I traded TEA, for example, which broke the structure in here. Some of the other things like render, for example, which is strong, it's kind of ish strong, but yeah, I would just wait for that kind of a structural break before longing this. We talked about ETH BTC a little bit. It's still the depressing thing. Maybe a little less than it was. Ton, I haven't really traded. I know everyone is talking about this, the Telegram coin.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's just this is one of those like cool for day trading maybe type of situations. I think on a daily time frame, like this was if you get long on a dump, which held actually pretty well, you know, like comparing to many other coins. You can see we tested the listing VWAP into the SR level. Like you don't want to see this trade underneath $5 again if this is really strong. So yeah, I guess with all of that, we are nearing the end.
Did you see? Sorry to interrupt. Did you see the Dubai being underwater?
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Not gonna lie, even.
So for those who somehow missed this, there is a big crypto conference called Token 2049, which basically a big deal conference in Dubai, and it's like first time in 11 years that it rained in Dubai.
It's like the biggest rain in 23 years.
I mean, it is definitely not a coincidence. All the crypto
Yeah,
bros come to town.
It's kind of funny, and it's always stuff happening on these kind of crypto events, like you know the last kind of boxing event in Dubai, or like not the last one, but you know the FTX crashed during one of these.
No,
So
it was Solana breakout. I was there. Thank you, man.
Oh,
Like the reason why I got fucked was because I had no access to crypto. You know, if like part of OPSEC is traveling without access to crypto in case somebody decides to go full uncle on you, and you're watching your portfolio evaporate.
yeah, that's why I don't leave my house. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, the streams are sponsored by Woo, so if you want to support us, you can make a new account. On Woo, you will find the link in the description. With that being said,
Wait for halving. Just chill. It's a few days away.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm a little bit afraid that in the next week we are going to be at the exactly same price as we are right now. But this is a good environment for day trading. I think not the best for swing trading. Obviously, you can jump into this chill in spot psyops where you gonna chill without a stop loss, watching your spot portfolio going 35% lower. That's your call, basically. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next